What's up, guys? It's your girl Lex, and today's video is about living on a ship, specifically a carrier. What to expect when you get there. What do I do when I'm on there? What do I bring on the carrier? Is the carrier good for your mental? Things of that nature. So of course, a lot of you guys are probably getting rumors like, you're gonna hate this ship, the food is so gross, oh my gosh, I hate it. I can go ahead and tell you that now. It's all about perspective. I've been living on a ship for about a month now, and it's not bad, at least for me. Some people choose to sleep in their cars. Some people choose to stay in hotels at the time. Some people choose to live with their best friend. That's not the case for me. But we're going to go ahead and kick off this story by telling you guys what to first expect when you get to the carrier. So for me personally, I was in quarantine for about 4 months before my carrier actually docked. They were on deployment, so for those that are going to be flying straight to the ship in the middle of their ship's deployment, expect to be flown in a helicopter. I definitely recommend bringing as little things as you can because, man, spacing is really, really tight. And we're going to get into like the rack spacings and things that I'm sure with that. But if you're going straight into the deployment, you're going to be flying on a helicopter and going straight onto the flight deck. I personally didn't have to do that, but my friends have, and they definitely had an experience. They sat backwards, faced the actual like opening and closing of the back of the helicopter. Crazy stuff, yeah. And they were like, you could feel everything. So shout out to those who are finna go on that helicopter, cause yeah, that's a lot. But for me, my story is that so I graduated A school in April. And I ended up sitting for about a few months in TPU, which is like the holding unit, you know. So I had barracks, you know, I had all my A school stuff. I was unable to take leave because, you know, again, coronavirus. And yeah, so I was chilling, big chilling, just getting paid to sit. And so when my ship docked, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I was so nervous, like some of y'all. I was like, man, what do I bring? How is it gonna look? Oh my gosh. Do I have enough stuff for this? Do I have too much stuff for this? And I was really nervous, you know. So I was especially nervous because in A school, even in boot camp, they'll tell you guys that there are 3 racks, and there's like a block. So there's about 3 blocks here, 3 blocks here. You got the bottom rack, middle rack, top rack. Now the bottom rack specifically, most people want because you don't, when it's like 2 a.m. at night, you don't want to be stepping on people's heads. So you can just like literally roll out. Everyone thinks it's super close to the floor. Now I've heard different things for different ships. Everyone's ships berthings, and specifically everyone's berthings really, depending on your rate, are really different. For instance, my berthing is, I'm ops, I'm AC of course. So I share with the OSs and sonar and, you know, people of that nature and the ASs. So specifically anybody who's ops, you know. So basically my berthing is not below the deck, but we're up higher, and it's a very cold one. And it's actually more spacey. Like we actually have space compared to some of the other rates because we're a smaller rates. So our berthing is not as big compared to some of my friends who are in engineering, whose berthings are a little more close-knit or, you know, like very stacked up on each other. So yeah, I have a little more room in mine, like more walking room. But for the most part, if you get a bottom rack, most people like it. The middle rack, again, most people like it because, you know, you're in that middle. It's kind of like, you kind of like are not on the very, very bottom, but you're also not too high up, and you can just kind of at the same time just kind of like roll under. I was blessed enough to have the top rack. I like the top rack. Top rack's dope to me because, you know, like, you can actually sit up. The other 2 racks you cannot sit up. It's actually very close to your face. Well, not super close, but very close to your face. You're gonna bump your head. Now, does not say if you're on top rack, you're not gonna bump your head, because I have literally a bump right there. And sometimes I bang the top of my head because I'll hit the metal at the top, you know, the very top. So, yeah. Now, some top racks have, like, plugins and things of that nature. So it just kind of depends on how your ship is made and where your top rack is, because I don't have that. But in the back of our berthing, the top rack does. And it's so close that, like, you know, the middle rack can use it too. But yeah, so if you get the top rack, you will be getting only 2 lockers. versus if you get the middle and the bottom rack, you'll be getting one locker and a rack that you can open. So the rack that you can open has a lot of space. Personally, I kind of wish I had that, because when I saw what my friends are working with, I was like, damn, how you get all that space? Versus me with 2 lockers. The lockers are not big. The lockers are probably about this length. I don't know if I can see it. It's like a little bigger than this, but yeah, it's about this length. So unless you went to like a big high school, like with big stuff, it is a lot of, it's like a high school locker. You know, I had a small high school locker, but if you had a big one, shrink it. But yeah, so you can, let me say this, you can fit a lot of things in there, but I do recommend what I did, and I'm gonna insert a picture, you know, like right here. So what I did was that I actually used bins, and shout out to my AC comrade, comrade, I'm half Mexican, y'all, I should know this. Compadre. Shout out to my AC compadre, Hillbin. She actually gave me the idea to actually use bins, and the bins actually help. So I really recommend like getting some bins and legit like, yeah, like legit organizing. Now, living on the ship. Now everyone talks to, oh my gosh, the shower is so cold, this and that. Now, the showers on a ship can get cold, and specifically my berthing, again, we have hot water. I mean, it gets like super scalding hot, because the MMs, who I shout out to my friend Gums, she actually been educating me, they make the water. So the thing with ships is that if it does get cold, if like the water is limited, is because the people on the ship, which are the MMs, make that water. So if the water is being overly used more than how it's being made, than being, you know, produced, of course they're gonna start shutting off the water. Like, yo, calm down. So luckily we don't have that problem, because right now we're in port and most people don't live on the ship, but we definitely have had those issues of like reduce your water usage. So yeah, the showers are not bad. They are still regular showers. Now some of them, if they don't have like the shower head, they will just trickle down like a regular, you know, like spout of water. But I mean, it's like, be grateful, like you're able to actually like shower. So yeah, that's sorry, I keep touching my hair, but yeah, so that's the shower situation. Now let's get into food. Everyone loves some food, right? So a lot of people complain about the ship food. Again, it's all about perspective, y'all. So the ship food is not bad. Shout out to my CS friends. It's not bad, like, personally. Of course, it's not gonna be like the officer food if you're enlisted, because, you know, officers of course get first pick, top pick, things of that nature. But I mean, the food's not bad. Like, it's almost kind of like A school food to me. Like, some of it's of course not gonna be like seasoned to your tastings, you know, like it's not gonna be like grandma's cooking. But it's cooked chicken, it's cooked fish. Now, when you are on deployment, I will say this, I have yet to be on my first deployment, and of course we'll make a video on that after, you know, of course, my deployment. But my friends have told me, like, of course, like, because, you know, of limited supplies at the point, food isn't as satisfying as it would be in port. So, you know, like, I definitely say, if you're on the ship, definitely utilize that food. Please, I'm gonna give y'all some one-on-one right now. Please do not be one of these people, including myself, I'm talking really to myself too, who eat out every day, because I do that, and legit, my bank account is suffering. Because, you know, like, for instance, I'm always out. So because I'm always out exploring, things of that nature, I always miss the galley times, which means more money in my pocket, which means more belly. Look at my belly, y'all. Like, I used to work out, and now I got stretch because I'm eating out the galley. Like, I'm eating like crazy. So yeah. So I really suggest like eating at the galley. It's cheaper. But there are like specific shops like mine. Like, we have like a little lounge area where we're able to keep, you know, like food and things of that nature. So I do recommend, like, you know, like being like my other compadre, but AC Guzman, Airman Guzman, because like you can bring grapes and fruits. Just put it in the fridge in the lounge, or, you know, wherever your shop keeps food. Again, it's all free game though. And last but not least, and shout out to my AC1 who actually put me on game with this. There's a lot of stealing on ships. People lose things all the time. People need things. So what happens is that, like, if you leave a hat around, especially without a name in it, people will take that. People will definitely take that. Now, what to expect as a new check-in, as an airman, just coming on the ship, or even as like an AC1, AC2 who's checking into their first command as far as a carrier goes. So it's a lot to take in. The ship can be very confusing, but get lost. Like that's the number one advice I can really say, because I used to explore a lot on the ship. I first found the way how to get to my berthing and then to my shop. That's the first thing you should find out. So just run around. There are a lot of shortcuts actually, and they're through portholes and through different ladder wells. But if you ever get lost, find your way back up to the hangar bay and then you can maneuver back again. Like, the hangar bay is kind of like the central hub of where to do things and where to get back to places. Yeah, definitely take the ship in. The ship, once you kind of know the ship is not as big as it looks. Personally, to me, I think the ship is actually rather smaller than what I imagined. I imagined this massive ass ship, and it's not that big. It's just not that big. You know, the ship is kind of fun to me. Like, I don't stress about coming into work, honestly. Like, I think that's the one thing that I do like about the ship is, like, I now feel like I'm actually in the military. I feel like I'm actually finally doing something cool. So I don't, like, strain to go to work. Like, I actually like dressing in my uniform and getting cute. I'm saying. Yeah. So as a new check-in, you're going to come in on your dress white. You're going to check in. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. And, yeah. It's not going to be bad. Like, you're just going to be able to get in, get out. Depending on your shop, you might get out early, you know. And if not, you know, the latest you'll be there is like, I think like 16. Some people get out at 18, but, like, again, you gotta realize it's better than most civilian jobs. Just saying. But yeah, so that is really what to expect when living on a ship. And I hope you guys found this information a little good. At least, I'm sure. And I will talk to you guys about my first deployment once it's over. So, peace.